Hey, this is Taylor with Believe in the Run.
This is Reese with Believe in the Run. And we are here with Brenden from Nike. He is the ACG product director of Footwear. I'm pretty excited about all this new stuff that Nike is coming out with and ACG. So maybe give us a little background on like a quick highlight of why ACG is now a thing. And maybe the new shoe you just released.
A thing again.
Yes, again.
I love that.
Yeah.
Again, yeah. I mean, so ACG's been around since the late 80s, and really kind of Nike's foray into the outdoor space is not a new one. So in the 70s, there were some teams that dabbled in the outdoor zone. We had a group of mountaineers actually summit K2 in the LDV in the late 70s. They put an extra bit of lug height on it, but they wanted something lighter, faster than kind of the traditional hiking boot, and so they actually summited in some LDVs. And then a few years later, actually Mark Parker, now executive, chairman of the board, designed really the first kind of trail running shoe for Nike called the Escape. Yep. So it was in the early 80s, and then fast forward to the late 80s, ACG was really founded. So this is sort of kind of the next generation of ACG, if you will. You've seen us continue to invest in this space. We just announced the Broken Arrow race sponsorship actually just this week.
Gorge Waterfalls
a couple weeks ago as well. So again, this is a space we're really excited about, and we really are looking forward to continuing to serve outdoor communities and athletes.
And I mean, we know in the industry when Nike's ready to move, you move. And so we're feeling those ripple effects, not only in just how you guys are investing in ACG, but also the footwear that's coming out. Yeah. And so we have the Zegama 3 and the Ultrafly 2, both updated models. Can you just walk us through what's updated about them and how are they going to be just significant players in the trail running space?
Yeah, absolutely. So, so the ACG Zegama and the ACG Ultrafly we're really excited about. That'll come in spring 26. This will follow suit very quickly in summer 26. And a little bit of like taking again that kind of DNA from the trail lines and sort of reinterpreting through the lens of ACG. So getting a little bit more wild, a little bit more all conditions, if you will. Yeah. To be pretty literal about
it.
On
the nose
yeah,
there.
exactly.
Like
but so we're really excited about this update. So the Zegama for us historically has always been more of that max cushion and comfort proposition, while of course maintaining that stability and protection out there on the trails. And so this is really, we kind of call it our all day and all night shoe. It's really meant for those ultra endurance adventures and really meant to handle any sort of rugged or technical terrain that might be thrown at you. And so that comes to life through a pretty unique toolkit that's really like athlete informed. So at Nike and at ACG, we always put the voice of the athlete at the center of everything we do. We're really fortunate to have an amazing group of testers from across the globe who really help us with that product insights and fine-tuning the details. And we have our all conditions racing department athletes. If you're here today, hopefully you'll see them at some point. Caleb Olson's here, Bailey Kowalczyk's here. And Caleb was one of those voices actually who was a really important part of the creation process on the Zegama. So the Zegama Trail 2 was one of his like go-to training partners. Again, it's like taking a lot of load off the legs, especially in those high mileage training blocks, like prepping for a race like at Western States. And then he really chooses to race in the Ultrafly prototype. And so he told us he didn't really actually want this to change that much from where the Zegama Trail was in the past, but how could we maybe unlock a bit more of that ZoomX magic? So how do we get more of that supercritical responsiveness kind of directly underfoot? And then the other thing that we really wanted to focus on with this update is just delivering more and more comfort. And we kind of look at comfort as a system. And so we really felt like the way to deliver that was actually through a new last. So the last kind of comes first when it comes to that overall fit. And so we actually have widened the toe box as well as added a little bit more height for that much more of an accommodating fit with this update. So things we're really excited about. So I'll go through some of the technical details and take you through why we're just excited about this. So Vibram Mega Grip outsole. So we've also evolved kind of the traction pattern from where it's been previously to just give that little bit more security and confidence out there on the trails, as well as we've widened the forefoot nets to just help with some of that overall stability.
And there's like multiple shapes of lugs, multiple directions.
Are these like all the same material throughout, even though I know sometimes with colors, right? It's like different materials, different sizes. And so does that apply here?
Yeah, so same, again, Mega Grip coverage all over. Obviously where you see foam exposed is just to help reduce some of that overall weight where it wasn't exactly needed from a high wear durability zone. And so the direction is intentional where it's again for more of that like braking on the downhill, the climb climbing on the uphill, and then we found that this sort of like tri-star pattern, if you will, works really well overall as well. So again, evolved this, fine-tuned it with the team, and it's tested incredibly well across, again, rugged and technical terrain. And then we wanted to make sure we had a lot of heel coverage as well. So a lot of our all-conditioned racing department athletes, although they're across the globe, we kind of have these hubs in sort of like Boulder and Salt Lake, at least within kind of North America. So as soon as it gets snowy, you need that coverage within the heel. If this is exposed at all, then it can become quite slick. So we really want to obsess that to make sure, again, it could really work across all conditions. Then moving into the midsole, so this is where we're really excited about some of the evolution. So this is a kind of new version of Zoom X for us. So it's more durable and it's also lighter weight. So both, I think, huge wins, and it's actually like tunable. So we can, in this case, we actually made it firmer than what you might see on the road running side to just add that more stability for the trails.
And so to that respect of like many people who are coming from the road side want a shoe that's familiar to their Nike shoe on the road,
for sure,
or familiar to it. So what would we see this type of Zoom X in on the road?
So you actually see a really similar formula to this in the Structure Plus that also just came out as well.
Perfect.
So that's probably a really good comparison. And you'll also see the Zoom X in the ACG Ultrafly. But again, because we're able to sort of like tune it, we'll get to it when we talk Ultrafly, but that's actually a dual density Zoom X. So we're able to even look at different densities within the kind of the same kind of setup. And then, so what you see, that's what you see above the parting line. And actually, I might grab actually this component part that I have to show you guys just how this comes to life. Thanks. So this is what we're talking about, and so this is the Zoom X layer, and you can see just how much foam is underfoot, and then this is actually a firmer Cushlon foam. So it adds that stability and containment as well as a bit more durability. So it kind of just protects the overall system, and so this has allowed us to actually increase the stack to 38 and 34. So you're getting more foam underfoot, but we're maintaining stability through the widened nets on the outsole, as well as you might notice just how deep you're actually sitting into the foam. So the sidewall wraps up quite a lot to provide that real secure heel lockdown. So you're getting kind of that protection and responsiveness of more Zoom X underfoot while maintaining that stability that we know is really crucial when no two steps are the same out on the trail.
And this particular design isn't unique to this version. This was fairly similar to previous versions, but what would be the main difference in this one? In terms of
so in the Zegama Trail 2, so it was actually more of a core carrier, so the Zoom X wasn't exposed actually at all. And that was to protect kind of the Zoom X, because it can be, other versions can be a little bit more, say, like less durable, a little more fragile. So it's to protect the foam as well as to provide that containment. And so this is what's really helping kind of like unleash that Zoom X, or Caleb Olson told us like, hey, how do we like unlock the magic of Zoom X a little bit more in this? I want it to feel more responsive and poppy underfoot. And so
it is one of those foams that it's still very special within the industry, even though many, like with all these different super foams, Zoom X is just one of those standouts. And from the second version, even though it was more stable, it's really just good to hear that we're going to get more of that Zoom X cushion, energy return.
Okay, so more underfoot, awesome. Unleashing it a little bit more. So with this kind of more like bathtub type approach, as opposed to being full core carrier where it's fully encapsulated, Zoom X is really compliant, so it travels a lot. It's what gives it that amazing responsiveness. And so this allows it again to just compress and rebound that much more and not be fully restricted within that core carrier kind of system.
Cool.
So
I mean,
so really
like
excited
best case
about
scenario on that.
All the updates there. And then we can move into the upper.
Yeah, just talk about the upper for a little bit.
So we again really wanted to go with kind of that tried and true trusted engineered mesh. So zonalized containment zones as well as breathability zones. So notice this is opened up actually quite a bit to make sure that there's a lot of heat evacuation. And you'll also notice what's actually popped here in orange is this midfoot fit band. So just making sure you get that really secure lockdown within the midfoot. We are maintaining kind of that gator that has been kind of with every iteration of Zegama.
It's super popular, like across a ton of shoes we've seen at TRE is people with a gator, a booty of some kind, but like, what is the race condition for this? Is there like a specific race that this was designed for the booty, or like conditions?
It's a good one. I mean, really, again, it's meant to handle that more technical terrain and just keep debris out, as well as it just provides a nice like fit around the ankle or kind of malleolus, just to provide that kind of additional little bit of structure.
I love that word, malleolus.
It's a good word.
And so then you have those comfort cues, nice plush collar, nice comfortable tongue, and then again that new last is going to be specific specific to ACG and trail, and we'll use this on all of our trail models going forward to maintain that consistency. In this case, it's obviously the 4mm drop with 38 and 34, but we'll have different offsets within the same last. So maintaining that consistency of the midfoot fit and that, again, additional volume in the forefoot with, again, those different drops going forward. So really excited about that update.
And when will this release?
Summer 26. Needs to be 170 US from at least a global suggested.
Okay. So it's really maintaining a good price too, while elevating performance. Whoa.
Yeah.
Can we talk about this one now?
ACG Zegama. Yeah, let's talk Ultrafly. So this is a really exciting one for us, and this started really, again, building from that DNA of the Ultrafly trail, where our athletes challenge us, hey, can you guys make a super shoe for the trails? And so we took, again, the innovation that Nike's driven through that road racing line and really tuned it for the trail. And we took that same toolkit and really, again, just kind of amplified it and made it even more wild. And so really excited about this one. This is our most tested trail shoe or ACG shoe ever. So over 14 rounds of long-term wear testing.
I mean, we've seen it on athletes' feet for way too long. I'm like, just give me the shoe already. I want it.
I hear you. I know for those of you
developing it.
Oh gosh, well, I'll just put it to you this way. Like, I have so my son is almost 3, and basically, like, when I was on paternity leave, we were still working on this shoe. So it's been a labor of love, one that we're so excited that the world is now finally getting to, see, not just on our elites' feet, and hopefully, you'll see it in retail quite soon here, because this comes out in spring 26.
And was there, I guess, like a muse for this shoe? I think some brands are always like this race, this athlete, obviously, like, there's athlete input, but a lot of times there's like a location or a race. I don't know if there was a muse for it.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, for us, this is always, again, this is about lightweight, responsive speed. And so you think of a lot of the more like buffed out, like single track or kind of the California carpet style trails. Like, this is undoubtedly for that. But at the same time, we've seen our athletes also choose to race in this within kind of an Alps environment. So Caleb Olson raced in this in the Alps last year. Drew Holman raced in it this year.
Didn't he summit Mont Blanc in it too? I feel like
not in this.
Not in that?
Not in this. That's a story for another day.
Okay.
But so again, even though that was kind of the muse course, I think with a lot of the adjustments we've made, our athletes are really just choosing to race in this because it's purely the most like responsive solution that they can find on race day, and so it's one we're really excited about. But yeah, we have seen it for a while. For like those of you with like a really keen eye, Caleb Wilson actually wore a prototype of this at Western States last year, like in 2024. So we've been working on this in close partnership with our all conditions racing department for quite some time. And then of course he had that amazing performance this year at Western States and was able to win in this prototype, as well as Trans Gran Canaria. So it's been a journey to get
performance
here. Performance
tested, to say the least.
Yeah.
And I mean, just aesthetically, it looks, like the Vaporfly for the trail. And what are there any similarities there in terms of materials being used and inspiration?
Yeah, undoubtedly. So maybe we'll kind of we'll start with the outsole and work our way up, and then we'll get into what kind of, again, bridges that gap from the super shoe space for us. So Vibram Mega Grip with light base, so just making sure we're, again, giving the security of traction, 3.5 mil lug, but again, reducing weight with that light base, thinner web, which is a really amazing solution for us. Then moving into the midsole. So this is where we really, again, start to see kind of that magic super shoe system come into place. So as I mentioned, this is a newer formula of ZoomX, so lighter, durable, and tunable. So this is actually dual density.
And is it the same that we're seeing right here in the Zegama, or is it slightly altered from that even?
So it is very similar, but the densities are slightly different. So I'll grab a component ring really quick, and we can chat through some more details. This is really what brings this to life. So again, we have dual densities of ZoomX. So if this almost like core, if you will, is a little bit softer, so it's going to give you that more responsiveness, a little more cushion underfoot. And then this is a firmer ZoomX that, again, is going to provide that little bit more stability and support. And then you have the full length carbon fiber fly plate, and it's a split plate. And so this is a really exciting update as well. It's also less rigid than kind of its predecessor, if you will, in the Ultrafly Trail 1.
So we're talking not just propulsion, but this is going to act as a stability mechanism.
Exactly.
As well.
So with that torsional, stability and support, and by having that flex groove, it again allows you to kind of really work with the trail as opposed to the trail working you, right? If it's too rigid, we found through various rounds of testing that you're just starting to you're just not really connecting with the trail as much.
you've
and so
blown
this
ankles
allows for that.
Yeah.
because of shoes like
Totally.
that.
100%.
So this certainly helps with the articulation. So that's something that we're really excited about with this update.
And what's the overall stack with?
This is 37 and 28 and a half.
Okay. Yep.
So maintaining that same 8.5 mil drop is kind of the predecessor, if you will. But really, again, looking to add that little bit more foam underfoot.
Okay.
Then you see the textile wrap in the forefoot. So that provides a little bit of, again, stability and containment. As we talked about with ZoomX, it's super compliant, so that restricts a little bit of that movement in the forefoot.
And in the previous version, we saw like a mesh across the whole midsole, so this is just the forefoot we're seeing.
Correct, and so again, provides that little bit of stability, really helps with foot placement on even, again, more like technical downhill sections in particular when you're really bombing down, so that you're not kind of having too much movement within the forefoot, and it creates a pretty cool visual of tying kind of the upper with the midsole, and then moving into the upper, you do have this like dynamic print across the full upper. Provides a little bit of containment and support, and again, also it's just, I think, a really unique visual. The mesh itself is incredibly lightweight, breathable, durable, and drainable. So I really want to focus on that evacuation of water, especially again for like a Western State style course when you are quite literally submerged in the American River for a few minutes at times, wanting to make sure that it can evacuate water pretty quickly. Again, focusing on kind of right weight versus just solely lightweight, so you still have some pretty plush collar and tongue foams, which we knew is really important, and that's one of the benefits of testing with our elites in a race environment, where again, Caleb wearing this in back-to-back Western States here, Drew Holman wearing it at, in some basically doing the full big loop at Mont Blanc. It really makes a huge difference testing it in a race environment and knowing if it can handle the paces of a true like ultra
And
test.
I like that you brought that up, right weight instead of lightweight, because that's the balance that so many people are trying to do, but we often go on the side of lightweight thinking that's performance, but there's so many other performance measures. So that's, I'm going to start using that. Okay.
Trail is very different than road in terms of lightweight, right weight, to phrase you, because
okay, that's our next hat.
Lightweight versus right weight. But yeah, I think because there is the need for stability, for protection against the elements, so where we can't just have like a see-through like yarn that a lot of road shoes can get away with.
And a lot of the shoes on the market right now in this race day category really neglect this heel. Can you talk about this heel structure a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things that we've really learned throughout, again, all those 14 rounds of testing. Like, we tried to go a little bit more minimal early on, and we found that, again, comfort being one of the key ones, and like making sure that you aren't having any heel slip. If you go really minimal, that's a really fine line to walk, especially with having a plate in there. And so this was something that we found worked really early on and worked well, so we wanted to stick with it. And our athletes told us through testing, as well as our all conditions racing department athletes, that again, that comfort was something that they just couldn't sacrifice, especially over the course of an ultra race. It was like, yeah, I'll sacrifice a few grams to make sure that I'm really comfortable throughout that race, so that it doesn't become a distraction. Right? Ultimately, like if you're thinking about what's on your feet, then that's kind of a problem. We want these to just like disappear when you're out there and just kind of take you through that race or training run.
That's as if I wasn't already stoked on what's happening at ACG.
This looks like
when can we expect this, and what will be the price point?
So this will be $250. It's coming in spring 26.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, I think we hit on most of the tech specs. The only other thing I'd hit on is, I guess, just weight. So again, focusing on it being like that right weight. So we've still reduced weight quite a lot from the Ultrafly Trail 1. This is coming in at about 287 grams for US Men's 10. And so again, we're really excited about how this is tested. It's already shown up on some podiums, which is really nice. And we're excited to get it on more feet here soon.
I mean, excitement is abundant.
Oh yeah, it was like our two
size 10 and a half as we're leaving.
Yeah. I mean, we have some trial pairs in here. We can definitely try to make something happen. So, but yeah, we're really thrilled about this one, and I really appreciate the time.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Appreciate it.